Hey everyone. Hey everyone. I'm just trying to get my phone on the tripod. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. I think we are good now. So, welcome in. I'm Pimmy. Welcome back to my channel. This is my second live stream. I'm hoping that today we are able to get some good content. So we did a live stream yesterday, and today we're going to be jumping into one of Bobbie Goods' books. I love Bobbie Goods. If you know me, you know how much I love Bobbie Goods. They're such a great brand, and I am so excited to share this page with you. I actually did a page yesterday, and I am so sad because whenever I check the next page, I actually noticed that it bled onto the next page. And it's crazy because I use like this sheet that I got whenever I got the bundle. I got a sheet that they gave. I don't know if it was just like packing or what it was, but it was about the same size as this sheet. So I use it as a back page, and I shouldn't have done that. I should have just stuck to what the normal, what I normally do, which is I cut a sheet out of this, and I'll show you guys how I do that. But it bled on and I didn't understand why. So I was like, I'm not doing that anymore because I'm not ruining my books. I'm going to stick to my method. Before we get started, this was a sheet that I did yesterday. I like it. I feel like there's a lot of color. I love Bobbie Goods. This is actually the first like sheet that I'm doing in one of Bobbie Goods' books. I normally do the postcards. If you guys have looked at my channel, I am in love with Bobbie Goods. I love their art. I love their quality because not only do they have amazing like illustrations, but like their sheets are so thick and they're so nice, and I absolutely love it. And I was like, how can I save this sheet? I feel like this sheet is so beautiful. The sheet is super cute. And I was like, let me just do like the two marker challenge. And that's what I'm going to jump in with you guys today. I've never done it. So this is going to be an experiment for all of us, those that are watching now. And I really appreciate you guys for joining in. If you don't follow my channel, please like, subscribe. Subscribing is definitely appreciated because I'm trying to grow my channel. I'm trying to monetize. I'm trying to do this more often for you guys. And if you guys like any of the things that I'm using, I have most of the things that I'm using linked in my storefront. I have it actually linked in an ideas list on this video. And also if you go to like my description and my bio, you can see the link as well. I'll have like my markers linked, my utensils. Bobbie Goods does not sell like their big books on Amazon, unfortunately. So you can, go to their website and get their books from their website. They're super cute. I got this one in a 4-book bundle. But let's just jump right in. Before we get started, let me put this to the side actually. And I'm gonna show you guys what I do for my back sheets. So jumping right in, I use this watercolor paper. Everyone has different methods. You could use the sheet that you normally get. Let me see if I have one here actually. So actually I don't, oh, I found one. Bear with me, guys. So normally when you get like your coloring like markers, your alcohol markers, you get a sheet like this. And I feel like with books like this, obviously it's not big enough. And what I started doing, and I don't even use these anymore, I just use this now because I feel like it works better. So this is what I do. I pull a sheet out. I have this book linked in my ideas list. So if you guys want to do this too, you can just go to my ideas list and do exactly what I'm doing now. It's super easy. So what I do is I take the book that I'm using, I mark it, right? So we have it marked with a pencil, and then I'll go in with this, and this is super affordable too. I did link it in my storefront. I didn't have it yesterday for you guys, but now you can see it. Basically, you line it up. And it's so simple, guys. This is going to make your life so much easier. It's going to make your coloring experience so much better because you're never going to bleed onto the next sheet. And you can use this for so much, especially if you're like a mom, dad, and you have, kids that are always crafting. This is going to make life so much easier for so many different projects. So just keep that in mind. And just like that, we have our coloring page for our Bobbie Goods coloring. All right. So next, get this out of the way. I've actually seen online that a lot of people have tried the 2 coloring like the 2 marker challenge, and I'm like, "That is super cool." Like I said, I've never tried it, so I feel like just making sure that we prepare and do it correctly is what's going to make us successful with this. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this here and we're going to put it behind our sheet. Also, Bobbie Goods is really cool because you can actually rip the sheet out. And I might actually do that just because I don't want to have to hold it down the whole time. So we will do that now. I want to make sure I do it correctly, guys, because I don't want to rip the page. I've already thought about this page. I've committed to this page. We are not ripping it. There we go. Fingers crossed. Guys, it's ripping. This is why a lot of people don't even like pull it out of the book. They just like leave it in the book because they don't want something like this to happen. Guys, I might just leave it in the book. Nope, we're getting there. All right, we made it. We're here. There's a little rip there, but we'll figure it out. All right, so we'll leave the protective sheet behind it because I still don't want to get bleed onto my table here. But this is a book. Once again, you can get this individually on their website or you can get it in their coloring bundle. Their coloring bundle is a little bit more expensive, but if you love Bobbie Goods and you love their books, I feel like it's worth it because you get 4 of them in their coloring bundle. So definitely check them out. All right, let's start. So, like I said, planning is going to get us a long way. So, what we're going to do first is we're going to basically check to see where our source of light is coming from. And obviously, it's the window. We have a window here. So, if you have like a lamp, if you have a window, it's always going to be really useful to just like measure out. So, what I do is normally I'll take like a ruler and I will sort of measure out the source of light. So, I'm going to do it, I'm going to say pretty high up. So, you can start here, and I'm going to take a pencil and I'm sort of going to line. Okay. And I'm going to stop here and we'll come back to that in a moment. But should probably get my eraser. Right, here's my eraser. There we go. Right, and then next we're going to go past this plant. We're going to line it like right here. Maybe over here a little bit. Here. We're going to do like a window. So because the light is coming in through the window, we want to make sure to also have details of this here. Mm. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments. I'll try to address them as they come. And once again, if you like anything that I'm using, like most of what I'm using, well, not the pencil, but most of what I'm using is linked. I do earn a small commission. I don't no additional cost to you. So keep that in mind. I do need to say that just so you guys know. But I appreciate you guys being here, just watching because like I said, I am growing my YouTube channel, whether you're watching now or whether you're going to watch it like later on once it actually becomes available because it does post after the fact. So thank you, my coloring besties, for joining in. All right, so we have the bear here and the light is coming in. So we're going to give like the front of the bear some of that light and orange. We'll go in with the markers in just a moment after we've basically prepared because you can go in without like lining it, but I feel like it's just so much better whenever you plan it out because it eliminates room for error. I mean, we're not perfect, so I'm definitely going to make mistakes here and there, but at the same time, it's like we can try to make as, as we can try to be as perfect as we possibly can and not make as many mistakes. Right. Do some lines here. Yesterday, when I went live, my neighbor's dogs were not active. They were asleep and they woke up today, guys. They're alive and they are loud. So bear with me. But like I said, guys, if you have any questions, let me know. And if you're just joining in, if you've dropped in, if you're watching now, this is a sheet that basically bled from the last sheet that I did. So that's why it looks like this. So this is a good idea for those that are just like, man, I have a sheet that I thought I messed up. Sometimes you can save your sheets. Sometimes stuff happens, but you're like, okay, I really like this sheet. What can I do with it? And it's still possible to save it. So that's basically what we're doing now. And I'm going to assume that the lamp isn't on. The picture is already really busy, so I'm going to not, have the lamp off, so I won't have like the light coming down. I feel like this is what's going to take the most time, just like lining it, you know? So if you're joining in like later on, those are the people that are going to get the most like action in the drawing, I guess you could say. Put a little bit here. Hmm. I'll do some light down here too. And whenever you go in, like the lines are obviously for your reference, but whenever you color with the lines, you want to I try to erase because you can see them. So I feel like something just like really light for you to see is going to look the best if you erase it like after you're like right before you color in that section. I don't know. Everyone's different, so some people just leave lines there. I like to sort of erase them and just give myself an idea of where the line should be. And I think that I'm gonna stop after like another minute or two of lining, and I will come back like if I need to add some lines later on, I'll do that. But I think we're pretty good for now. And how are you guys? How is my coloring community? If you're here live and, it's Tuesday. Today's actually Cinco de Mayo. What are you guys doing today? I love tacos. I just had some tacos and they were so good. My husband got us some tacos and I'm so excited. I would have like cooked today, but it's always easier to just like order something in that's already cooked. And I really enjoyed those tacos, but I hope you guys are having a great day as well. All right, I promise we're going in with the markers very, very soon. Hmm. All right, I think that is good for now. So we will start, I'm gonna say right, we can start in the window. So let's start on the window. The markers that I'm going in with, these are Ahuhu markers. These are going to be the chisel as well as brush tip. So we have the dual end. These are good. The chisel is good for like larger surfaces. It just really depends on like what's your style because we have like the fine tip markers as well. I believe these are fine tips. And these are really good for like getting details, getting dots and things like that. I prefer the fine tips, but like sometimes when you're doing like large areas, the chisel works. I really don't use a chisel too much. I like to use my favorite is the brush tip. So the brush tip is always amazing because I feel like you can just get to places, most places just like a lot easier. But anyway, let's go in. We're gonna start with the window. And we're going to do our lighter color first. There have been a lot of two marker challenges, guys, and I appreciate and I love all of them because I feel like everyone's going in with different colors. And sorry, I didn't mention the color, but this is YR112. So if you guys wanted to like make a note of it and use this one like later on, I love this orange. I feel like it's still pretty juicy, so I don't use it too often. So I was hoping to use two markers that I still had a good amount of juice in. Because, you have your favorite markers. If you've been coloring, there's certain markers that you're just like, man, I love that marker. It's like my yellows. I have certain like browns, like nude colors that I go for a lot. And yeah, so those are the colors that are not ideal for like two color challenges because you're like halfway through and you're like, oh man, my marker's pretty dry. So if you guys are here and you're not following my channel, definitely follow for lots of lovely content. If you don't know who I am, I'm Pimmy. Welcome in. I love coloring. I love art in general. I picked up coloring, just a little bit of background for me. I picked up coloring probably like 2 months ago. I've always been an artist. I've always loved to just like create. And I have like, if you see my office, I have so many just like art supplies and I'm always looking for like something to de-stress. And I feel like coloring has been just like the easiest thing for me because it's not messy. You literally sit down with your utensils and it's just so calming. It just de-stresses. You're able to do it at your own pace. You're able to put it down when you want to. And you're able to do it with friends and family, guys. Like I love this because the other day I sat down with my husband and we were just like coloring, and it was just so nice to just be able to do this with someone else and not make a mess. You know what I mean? Like it's such an easy yet fulfilling hobby. and everything is available on Amazon. So if you are interested, definitely check my Amazon storefront or ideas list. Once again, it is an affiliate link, so I do earn commissions at no additional cost to you. So just keep it in mind. All right, so we're trying to follow, what we're doing now is we're basically following the lines that we created with our pencil earlier. So just carefully, and I'm trying to remember to like erase. Oh, I went over that one right there. It's okay. But I'm trying to remember to like erase the lines that I'm doing as I'm doing them because I really, I mean, if you don't do it, it's no big deal because the other marker is darker, so it is going to darken up that area. All right, let's start with the bear here. We're going to line his ear and then moving into his face and the top of his head. His arm here. I'm going to move into the tray. And let's do this side of him as well. I'm going to leave a little section right there for later so that we can do like our darker. So the second color I'm doing is going to be a faded violet, which is a V010. Oh, forgot to erase. All right, guys, we're getting there. Do the top here. If you guys are watching this as I'm doing it or after, what is your favorite coloring book? I feel like there have been a lot of coloring books that have been really, really popular. The coloring book that I did yesterday was from Colored by Caramel, the Clumsy and Cute. That one was so cute. I love that one. Um, I also love, I got two more from Colored Caramel, and they're all so, so cute. Super, super cute. But I also love the Coco Woo. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Those are super cute as well. I have so many of just like their coloring books in their series. All right, guys, we have some green over here. So we'll see if we can actually save this section. I'm really hoping that it turns out good. Because remember, right now we're trying to save this coloring page that has had some bleed through. Right now it's not looking too bad. I might go in with like a white marker to just remove this bleed through on the borders, like on the frame of it. So we'll do that later, but let's see. Let's go in and do this part here. One thing I will say about Bobbie Goods books, and this is like I said, this is the second page I'm coloring from an actual book. I usually do the smaller postcards, so maybe that's why I don't notice. Although their quality of sheet is amazing, What I've noticed about it, guys, is that whenever you color over their black lines, and I hate to be the one to say this, but their black lines like bleed, which is weird because I've colored a lot of different coloring books and that never happens. So that's a quality issue on their part that they definitely need to work on. So like I said, you can really use any coloring books to do the two marker challenge. So I have a lot of coloring books that I recommend. All of the ones that I link, I've never had any issues with when it comes to like the lines bleeding. As you guys can see, it's like darker. So I'm gonna try to not go over like their lines too much, but that's something that we are here learning together. Hmm. Are we seeing any more light sources that we sort of missed? Maybe over here. Hey everyone. We're working on Bobbie Goods coloring page here. This is from their, well, I'm not going to say bundle because you can get it by itself. I forgot which one this one was called, but it's this book if you guys are just joining in or if you're watching midway through the video later on. But we're doing the 2 marker challenge. I'm super excited. It's my first time doing it. So first we went through and we basically lined with a pencil. And now we're going through and we're just using our first marker. So we're starting out with our lightest marker first. And then we're going to switch and we're going to use violet, but you can really choose the color that you like the best. We still have some things that we have to color. So the bowl here. If you guys have any questions, let me know. All right, guys, I think that, well, actually, her body right here. You see how that bleeds? Oh, I do not like that at all. All right, so we are done with the first marker. If I've for oh, actually, nope, we did forget. We did forget. Well, actually, I messed up on the bear because this side was supposed to be darker. So we'll see what we can do later on. But let me just go ahead and do this side here. All right, we'll figure that out later on. I do have, let me see if the Ahuhu, this is a 17. So I have the acrylic markers for Ahuhu too, and it's nice because if you have like the same exact acrylic marker, you can use it and it just helps with correcting things. So I might use this one at the end. I really don't want to because it's supposed to be a two marker challenge, but we'll see. Anyway, so let's move into the second color. So this is going to be the second color. It's V010. So we're going to start with just like darkening everything up, and then we'll go back and we'll do some additional color in different areas. But let's just jump right in. All right, guys, and how's it going? If you're still here, if you're joining in later on, we're still working on the two marker challenge. And so far, it's not too bad. I'm actually enjoying it. My first time. We'll see how we do like later on whenever we're having to go back in with the same marker to do some additional like shadows and things like that. And it's nice because you can really just jump in and sort of, I feel like this is where the chisel would definitely shine. I don't know, I'm still not going to use it, but I feel like I have a love, I'm not going to say a love-hate relationship because I really don't. Maybe I'll learn to like it like later on. And if you guys are here and you're just joining in, all of my like supplies are tagged in the video link. So, well, on the description. So definitely check it out if you want to get yourself some markers. These are going to be from the Ahuhu series. So these actually are the V010, and I'm using the YR112. Oh, you try to stand them up, so if you guys join in, you know which ones I'm using. Guys, remember I did the orange on this side? I went over it with the purple and it's not too bad. So I might actually use the orange later to do some shadows too because it's like, it doesn't look too bad. Gotta be really careful when you get close. When you get close to like the lighter areas. Guys, I don't have a steady hand at all. I am so jealous of those that do have a steady hand. I always say it. I'm always shaking, and that's why I always mess up. But we're getting through it. And if you're watching with me, don't forget to like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. It doesn't cost you anything. And if you're a fellow artist and you want to like comment, whether it's now or later, I would definitely love to support your channel as well because I know how it is. Definitely going to have to go in with the white marker. I always come outside the lines here. I'm gonna do the orange here too. Oop. All right, let's use the chisel. I know I say I don't like it, but let's do it. Because we're just trying to cover area at the moment. I will say that the chisel did make it easy for us to just cover that area. I know I always talk so much about it, how I don't like it, but it was useful. Go back in with the orange in a moment. Guys, we are getting there. Uh-oh. Went too close. All right, so I guess we can make out here a little bit darker. All right, and I feel like the main thing right now is going to be just like darkening up. Well, that needs to be darkened. Yeah, I'm just gonna go through and just darken the things that I feel like should be just a little bit darker. I'm gonna try to do some checkered design with the orange here. Hopefully it doesn't ruin it. But mm, I don't know if I love or hate it, but it's going to have to do. Hey everyone, if you're watching, welcome in. We're doing the two marker challenge. This is the first time I'm doing it, so we're getting there. I'm like trying to go over it to do like some just like shading and stuff to give it to just like make it stand out a little bit. It's sort of working, I guess. What do you guys think? But it's looking pretty good. What I was saying earlier about Bobbie Goods is like their ink, like I love their books. Their sheets, like their quality of paper is so nice. I absolutely love it, but their lines, the ink that they use, it sort of bleeds. So as you guys can see, like whenever you go over it, it's like you almost have to avoid their lines, which is crazy, but it's okay because Bobbie Goods does not sponsor this video. I love them, I will say that, but all the books that I've been getting from Amazon, so I linked my like curation, so it's like an ideas board. If you go on the description, I earn a small commissions for every purchase and no additional cost to you. Just need to say that up front. But I have like two sections. So I have the section where I have all the coloring books that I own and that I love. I haven't had any issues with any of them. That's like for Coco, Woo. So like all the main like coloring books, like Jade Summers, Colored Caramel. Those are all coloring books that are most likely from like Amazon KDP. And Amazon KDP is basically who, so artists and like book creators, illustrators, they submit their books to Amazon KDP. Amazon basically distributes, so they print them, they send them, and Amazon does a really good job with like their printing materials. So I feel like that's one of the main reasons why we haven't had issues with like those types of coloring books. So you don't have to do the two color challenge with Bobbie Goods coloring books. You can go on and just like get yourself your own coloring book. Can be any coloring book that has like any coloring page that has a light source. So if you're going in and you're trying to figure out, okay, which coloring book should I use, for the two marker challenge, any book that has like I would say a window, a light that's like not like a big enough light. So you see this light right here, I feel like that wouldn't be enough to be able to give your piece like make it stand out, because it's like the light would be basically coming out over here at most. So the rest of it would just be dark. I mean, and some people will get creative and do different things like that. So it just really depends on the artist, like what you're wanting to create, what makes you happy. But I feel like for whenever you're doing the two marker challenge, you have to do something where there's like an obvious light source that you're like, okay, well, this is where I can start. This is the two markers that I can use and go from there. And I always use a hoo as well as Cali Art. So a hoo does not sponsor me. A hoo please sponsor me so I can get lots of markers and continue to do this. But I feel like because they don't sponsor me, I'm going to be truthful with you guys. Cali Art is also amazing. When I first started, I didn't get their like 300. Well, I still don't have their 320 marker set. Hopefully, I get that in the future, whether they sponsor me or whether I buy it or my husband buys it for me. I hope he buys it for me. I'm sure he will if I don't get them like within the next like few months. But anyway, so just having like the Ahuhu, I bought the 48 pack and it was like the 48, and here's like my swatch cards. I have another one that's basically completes the 48 set. These are amazing because they have variety. But I also have the Cali art markers, which are so nice as well. And let me pull out the Cali art. These are the Cali arts. They look very similar to the Ahuhu if you haven't seen the Cali art before. If you do have the Cali art, these are so much cheaper than the Ahuhu, and I feel like they're very similar. The only thing about the Cali art is they don't have as many colors as the Ahuhu, but also a lot of people that have like the Ahuhu like big sets, they say that the colors basically repeat themselves, especially when it comes to like the pastels. So it just depends on like what scenes you're doing. You know what I mean? It just really depends. I like them because they're like I've been coloring and then I've seen a color and I'm like, oh, that's the color that I want to use. And I look through my set and I'm like, it's not here. It's not here. That's the most frustrating thing when you're looking for a color and you're like, wow, I don't have it. I'm really going to have to, either find something else or just do without it until I get the color. So it's like having the 320 set is just amazing because you have variety. But at the same time, if you're starting to color, don't feel like you need 320 markers. Like, as you guys can see, we did this coloring page with literally 2 markers. So you want to just make sure that you have, you can either make your own coloring page, or you can get your favorite coloring book. And coloring books are not expensive. Most of the books that I have in my store range from like $7 to like $10. And that's really like how far they go. There's some that might be 12, but normally like my favorite coloring books are at most $10. So just keep that in mind. Don't force yourself to go out of the way and get a billion coloring books, because I started 2 months ago and right now I'm like branching out and get actually using the other books that I bought. But it's like at the same time, I'm just like, man, I really don't want to start using certain books because I'm like, I'm not at the level where I want to be able to go into this book because I feel like I'll ruin it. You know what I mean? When you get a book and you're like, these pages are so cute. I really wish I don't go in and just try to be creative and ruin it. So it's like I've been trying, that's the best thing, sticking to 1 or 2 books until you feel like, okay, I've learned enough technique, I've learned how to do this, I've learned how to do that. And then you have the confidence to start using your other books. So that's why just, getting 1 or 2 books is going to be the best. And I really like this page. I feel like I could do a little bit more shading. Ah. I feel like I can work on like my shading just a little bit more, but for now I feel like we've done a great job. I've seen you guys pop in and out, so thank you guys if you're here. Thank you for joining if you're watching after the fact. Thank you for being here. You could be anywhere else in the world. You could be on any other video, but you are here right now with me. So I really appreciate you. And if it's not too much, if you can please follow if you haven't followed already. If you already follow me, I appreciate it. Thank you for following me on my coloring journey. This is what I love. Not just coloring, because like I said, I just recently started coloring, but it's like a newfound hobby that I am obsessed with. And I'm going to be doing this as much as I can, as often as I can. And what makes it possible is you guys. So you guys following and just like tuning in when you can, because obviously if you're busy, don't don't like, do something you can't do. But whenever you guys are here, it really helps when it comes to just like the growth of someone's channel, believe it or not. Um, I love this page. I think closing it out, it's a 2 marker challenge, but we're just going to fix up the border because if you were here at the beginning, if you heard me, this was a page that basically I did a different page and it bled onto this one. So we were basically using this page. We were doing the 2 marker challenge to correct the bleed. This was a page that I did yesterday. It came out so cute. What do you guys think? Super colorful, super fun, so cute. I loved it. But what I didn't love is that it bled onto this sheet, which was the next sheet. And it's okay because we went in and we saved it. We did the 2 marker challenge. We are here now and we got it done. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to go in with my Ahoo 101. I'm going to shake it. I love this. This is also linked in my ideas list and my link. It's a curation board. If you click, there's one side that's for coloring books and there's one side for materials. So if you click the materials, you can there's like a cheaper set that's like less than 20 bucks. There's a more expensive set that has like, I think it's like 48 markers. And that one will just give you more options. But if you get the smaller set, you do get the white. This is a 101. They do advise to shake, 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 shake. And this will help when it comes to just like highlights, correcting and different things like that. So whenever I'm done, I like to just go in and just go over it. And I'll probably do like a layer or two. It helps, guys. It does. Especially if you're like myself, if you don't have a steady hand, this really helps with just covering up mistakes. And I've used these. I also like the Ardex. So if you have, I also linked, I believe I linked Ardex. If I haven't, then I'm going to have to do that. But Ardex is also amazing. These brands don't sponsor me. They need to because I use their stuff so much and I would love to have more of it because these markers are not forever, guys. And that's the biggest thing about like just like acrylic markers and alcohol markers. It's nice because when you get the big sets, it's amazing. You have so many options. But guess what? If you're using two, three markers all the time, me, greens, reds, yellow, I use yellow so often. And I'm like, man, do they have like where you can buy just like the individual markers? They don't? Well, they need to because there's like two, three markers that I'm always out of. So, anyway, so I'm going to do like two or three layers. So I basically allow it to dry before I go in and do the next layer. But it looks so much cleaner already. Like, what do you guys think? I know it does. It looks so much better. Going to allow it to dry and then I'm going to go over it down here again and over here because that's where the yellowing was like the worst. And what else? For here, because I ripped it out of the book, I'm going to sort of clean it up. I showed you guys this before. This is what I make. If you're just joining in, this is what I use to basically create like my sheets. I love these. I showed you guys earlier what this was. This is from my watercolor book. It's also pinned once again. If you're interested in any of the products that I have linked, I do earn commission at no additional cost to you. But I use these sheets. These are watercolor sheets. And every single time I do, because there's like certain people that are always like, why do I have yellowing? Why did I, this? I haven't, I didn't color onto the next sheet. Why do I have yellowing? If, I protected my piece, but protected my sheet. Well, maybe it's because you use the sheet that had like the ink on it. Sometimes you use one of these and they have like ink on them, and if they're sitting on your coloring page for long periods of time, sometimes they yellow, sometimes the ink transfers. So what I like to do is I don't do this every single time. So this sheet I'll probably use it again. But if it's like, let me see, I have one here. If it looks like this, guys, you don't want to keep using something like this because guess what? It's going to bleed onto your next sheet and you're going to be mad about it because you're going to ruin it. So I use this, I cut it beforehand. It's really easy. This costs less than $10 or maybe about $10 or something like that. Whatever it's listed for, it's linked in my description as well. This is going to be a lifesaver for cutting your sheets. And they're so precise. So you have the lines. I basically line it up with one of the lines down here. And once I line it up, I cut. And we have a perfect line. How cool is that, guys? I'm gonna do it to the other side as well, just so that we have some like even lines. There we go. So much better. Guys, it looks so good. Looks so, so good. I'm so happy with it. Honestly, I'm definitely going to do some like a two marker challenge with a different book later on. I feel like I love Bobbie Goods, but for this specific book, there was a lot of like bleeding from their lines onto the sheet, so it sort of taking away from like the beauty of it. It still came out amazing. Once again, I'm gonna go through and I'm going to do another one of these. Just cleaning up the outside. If you guys have been here, if you guys are just joining in, thank you so much for joining. If you're watching after the fact, please like and subscribe. It means the world. It really does. I am going to be doing some, like, I promised yesterday that I was going to do it at least twice a week, and I'm here the very next day. So I'm showing up for you guys. Consistency is key, and consistency is what's going to make me move into the next level and be able to give you guys better content. You got to start somewhere, right? So if you're a fellow coloring book artist, if you love to color, I would love to see your stuff too. It's like sometimes you just have to like put yourself out there because that's what helps you grow. All right, guys. So we are officially done. Today we have completed the two marker challenge. What do you guys think? I hope you liked it. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe. Please like. Please comment. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you guys on the next one. I hope you have an amazing day, an amazing Tuesday, an amazing Cinco de Mayo. And we will see you guys on the next video. Bye.